Crashing with Friends Podcast.
Welcome to Crashing with Friends. My name is Kyle Hobbs, your host. This week I'm joined by
Jackson Brayman,
Con,
Jordan,
Aaron,
and Davey. Little Davey.
Well, thank you guys for joining me this week, and thank you for watching. Well, how's your guys' week been? Jackson, we'll start with you.
pretty good.
You know what? Aaron, tell us about yourself. No, I'm kidding. Go for it, Jackson.
quick background.
Who are you? Had a pretty good week, dude. I watched X last night, and I'll talk about it later, but overall, I enjoyed it.
You can talk about it now. It's okay.
Talk about it now.
Yeah.
You say X?
Yeah. It's that A24 movie. It's all about a group of young adults head out to the countryside to film a porno.
Oh,
And
I gotta watch that.
it turns into a slasher film from there. But
Nice.
overall, it was all right. It's not my favorite A24 film, but I still liked it. And also had to stay up till like 1:30, 2 a.m. to watch the F1 race this weekend, and that was pretty gnarly. It was the first time I sat up.
can you repeat that? What was that?
I had to stay up till 2 a.m. to watch the Formula One race. That happened
Formula
over the
One race.
weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, the Grand Prix that they had.
It was a good race, but yeah, it sucks staying up that late.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Next time, I think I'll just catch the replay the next day.
I was telling
Brutal.
Connor,
That's what I did.
I was like, I think I may have watched about 5 to 10 minutes of that race. Like, I would watch it, and then I'd wake back up, and I'd be like, oh, man, half of the race is gone. God, it was frustrating.
Yeah, I started Final Fantasy VIII, and I got to lap 28, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll finish just watching the race, and after that, I got super tired, so I should have just kept playing. That's what was keeping me awake.
Yeah.
That
Playing-
coffee.
Playing the remastered one?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, looks really good. Yeah.
I might start that soon.
What console is that on?
Everything.
It's on everything now. At this
Okay.
point, yeah.
I downloaded it on the Switch, but I didn't know if it was the remastered or what. So been
Yeah,
playing
it
through
is.
that one too.
It is, yeah. That's where I beat
yeah.
Final Fantasy IX on the Switch.
Nice.
So how far are you, Connor?
You just want to talk about me now? I thought Jackson.
I thought Jackson was done.
That was pretty much my whole week.
So Final Fantasy VIII. I'm only maybe an hour and a half in. I just started it the other day, but yeah, I'm liking it.
Did you guys know? I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Final Fantasy VIII was actually based on the romantic obsession that the United States was going through at the time when the Titanic came out. So
They were playing to their audience essentially.
yeah, they were like, Final Fantasy sells so well in the West, we have to make a Western themed Final Fantasy game. That's why it feels so different and so much more romantic and stuff than the other Final Fantasy games.
That's why it took me so long to get into it because I'm like, what is this sappy crap?
Yeah, dancing. That was your favorite cutscene, wasn't it, Kyle? The dance.
Very into the seed thing or whatever.
Yeah, you love that shit.
I liked the battle more right after that, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that all led into that, I believe,
Yeah.
right? There's a big battle that happens.
And the intro video is cool too, where Squall's fighting Cypher.
Yeah.
that
In
whole
the
thing.
flowers, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna play it all the way through because mainly I'd watch Kyle play it back in the day. I would, sometimes play it, but it was mainly just him. And then me deleting a save
I was
file.
gonna say, and then sometimes deleting my file.
Jesus, bro. David and Jacob used to delete our save files all the time.
Nope, never happened.
All the freaking time. We would have multiple save cards and pull them out and swap them out every time so that they wouldn't delete our stuff.
Yeah, Isaac always had 6 files that he would save in order.
Oh, classic.
I do that shit now.
Yeah, me too.
Of all the buttons you can push, you just manage to push them in the right order to delete everything every time.
Really, they shouldn't give you the option to save over someone else's file in a game. If you start a new game, that's the downside of those old consoles. They would just put you back on the first slot, and if you're just clicking through it, it's boom, you just erase your brother's save file.
They just doing what they saw you do, That's how you save.
And then I don't know. I had a PS2 this one time, and I got this PlayStation Underground demo disc. I read it. There was a warning saying that if you played it with a memory card in your first slot, everything would be erased off there. Totally forgot about that. Put it in. Lost my Final Fantasy X save at the final boss.
Oh my god,
I'm
dude.
just like, fuck, dude. I want to play this whole game again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we lost a lot of stuff on that profile, dude.
Yeah. That was just the one that comes to mind. There was a lot of other games that we had on there that
My Final Fantasy 8 save was on there. I think my 9 save was also on there.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
that's horrible.
That's why I never repeat Final Fantasy 9. I'd get to close to the end, and then my file kept getting erased. Same thing with 8. I think it's also why I never beat 7. Like, it's so easy back in the day to erase.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, aside from that, I went to the dentist this week and got all my pictures taken for what's called Sure Smile.
Not Smart Smile.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep calling it Smart Smile just so I sound smart saying it. But they put this thing in my mouth. Like I had to like hold my mouth open with like these like I don't know hooks. These weird looking hooks.
Sweet.
Dude.
Fuck yeah.
But they started sticking this thing in my mouth. It was like a mirror attached to a stick to like get pictures of like the inside roof of my mouth and shit. This thing looked like a fucking spatula, dude. Like, straight up shoving a spatula in my mouth. So I don't recommend that part of it, but excited for when I get them and all that.
Yeah,
So.
just like, you know what? Psych, this is actually the next episode of Saw.
Yeah, that was it for that. There was something else. Halo, watch that. Moon Knight, but I don't think we
Beat
really
Elden
talked
Ring,
about
right?
it, so. Beat Elden Ring, beat Miles Morales. That was what I was wanting to talk about with Miles Morales. You guys,
cool.
And you guys played the first Spider-Man game on
Yeah.
PS4? Mm-mm. No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yes.
Kyle did.
I still haven't.
Okay. I highly recommend playing that game. And then if you ever get a PS5, play Miles Morales. You know? It's definitely, like, in my opinion, the better, like, superhero game compared to even Batman. Like, Batman, for me, was at the top for the longest time. But now that Spider-Man's out, I mean, you can't beat it.
Dang.
It feels so good to play. You honestly feel like Spider-Man, and the web slinging, like, you thought Spider-Man, what was it, Spider-Man 2 on PS2?
Yeah.
You thought that shit was good? Nuh-uh, dude, not till you play this shit. Like, it is insane how good it feels. So, if you
That's
want
on
to...
PS5?
It's on PS5, Miles Morales is.
Okay.
But if you guys want to borrow my copy of Spider-Man on PS4, just let me know. I'll let you borrow it.
Miles Morales is also on PS4.
Yeah, it's also on PS4.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I played it on... Kyle had it on PS5, so that's where I played it. But
Right on.
highly recommend that shit.
Nice.
10 out of 10.
Good.
Dang, really?
Yeah, as far as
Wow.
like, I mean, superhero stories, you know, they could
Yeah.
definitely be really bad, you know?
Yeah.
So it was great, in my opinion. Short, sweet, is exactly what I needed after Elden Ring. Because
Cool.
Elden Ring was so damn long.
Yeah, it was, dude.
So you beat Ratchet and Clank as well, and that's also an Insomniac game. Which one of the two you think was the better of the two?
Are we counting Spider-Man PS4 in this?
No.
Just Miles Morales?
Just
versus-
Miles Morales.
Ratchet and Clank takes it because there's more content.
Gotcha.
If Miles Morales was a full-size game as the first Spider-Man was, it would probably beat it in a lot of ways. But they tell a good story throughout it. It's just shorter, you know, compared to all the different enemies you go through in the PS4 version.
It's wild how good Insomniac is at handling motion. Because Ratchet in that Ratchet and Clank game has those like super jet boots
Jet
or
boots,
whatever.
yeah.
And the game flies by you and it looks so good.
And you got like hooks, like hook shot and all that kind of stuff with it, you know?
Yeah, you're
So-
flying through like other dimensions and stuff like that.
We're
yeah.
talking about like the most recent Ratchet and Clank game?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It is insane. Yeah.
Yeah, they also did Sunset Overdrive on the Xbox One, and like the traversal in that game is crazy too.
Dude,
That
some
game
of the
has
reboots,
guns.
they're coming out with are really legitimate. Like just the fact that they can keep coming out with Spider-Man game after Spider-Man game and just keep making them better, you know?
Right.
It's kind of it's very impressive, I think.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that was my week, so
Nice.
pretty good.
Cool.
And Bo, how about you? How you been lately, man? We haven't seen you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, man. I know. Been pretty good. Just trying to keep busy and shit. Actually, this week, I pretty much just figured out like the remaining wiring problem or whatever on my other car, so that's pretty sweet.
On your Mazda?
Yeah,
You have a Miata, both Miatas?
yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously it took forever. God, just in general, and then just getting to that last little stupid thing that was kind of plaguing me or whatever. So that's pretty sweet. I got a new computer. I don't know shit about computers, but I just bought one with the biggest specs. So all the latest features. But yeah, I don't know shit about computers. So I
How
don't
much
know
did you spend
I don't
on
know
it?
if it's good or not. I want to say just under 4,
Nice.
I think. But yeah. Windows 11, the best, obviously. Everyone knows that, of course. I have no idea, dude. It was in something called S mode until last night. I got out of that. I said, don't want that.
Oh my god.
That's speed mode. You want that?
Oh, man, yeah. Why is it even an option to downgrade?
I don't know what that means,
Oh, out of
actually.
speed mode.
Was he in safe mode, you think? Was that?
No.
It's some sort of new thing that Windows is doing, apparently. And it is
okay.
like where you can only download like their, or like through whatever their platform is, like apps and shit. So
That's
it's like
obnoxious.
a safer version, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
So
But
you're
apparently it's
essentially
a-
in safe mode.
Apparently, it's only a one-way ticket, though. They're like, once you're out of this, you can't come back. I was like, oh, man.
How Apple of them to do something like that.
Yeah. We want a closed system ecosystem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just done that, and then I've been working on the other car, trying to get it ready for autocross and shit. Just so much work across the board. So it's all getting done, getting little shit here and there. So it's been pretty good. That's about it, I guess, for this week.
Nice. How's Jessica and Bo been? Jessica,
Well,
Bo, and Lincoln.
Well,
as a
my
family.
alter ego, he's okay. Some ups and downs. Pretty good. Gosh, I'm trying to think of anything exciting to say about them, but ugh. Man, we had to take this neighborhood cat that we've been watching to the vet the other day because its leg was all like jacked up, man, and we didn't know what it was. We thought it was broken or something. So that's been a fun episode this whole week, trying to like, because we've been trying to keep it inside. Then like Lincoln will let it out, and we'll try to keep it inside until the or I almost said dentist appointment, but until the vet. And then we'd like reschedule because we couldn't find him that night. And then we'd be, it's like, oh my god, this whole stupid thing. But
So what ended up being wrong?
they think it just got bit by something. Like it was pretty sizable, like I don't know, wound, and it was like bleeding and shit quite a bit. And but yeah, they didn't think it was broken. They didn't actually take any images or anything. But like we think it's fine. It's still limping around, but it is getting better. So hopefully, I don't know.
Nice. Have you been letting it sleep in your bed?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
You been giving it kisses?
The first night it was
Kisses.
injured. I tucked it in.
rubbing his belly?
I tucked it in where I would have slept, and then I went and slept on the couch.
You know, animals, they just kind of recover after a while. Well, they don't, you know? And
Yeah.
Yeah, they pass away.
Yeah. Take him to the vet, and he's like, a bug bite.
Did I already talk to you guys about the pregnant cat I found at Aaron's place?
Oh, Jesus, bro.
So we had a stray that just like walked in and stayed the night one night. And so we were like, I guess this is our new cat. So he's been living with us for like a month. And then we went to his house for a yard sale last weekend, and this like pregnant ass cat like walks out from under somebody's car down the road, and I'm like, oh, I'll just go to pet the cat because I'm nice or whatever.
Never seen this
'Cause
cat
they're nice.
before in our lives.
She
and
ended
just
up
showed
being like super sweet, and Mandy was like, we got to take her home. She's like real bony and skinny, but she's pregnant. We got to take care of her. And I'm like, all right, fine. And then the first day, our other cat and her got in a huge fight, and she like pooped all over the place because she was freaked out. And so now we've had to like isolate them. So when one of them's in the house, we shut the other one in our room, and then when that one's in the house, we shut the other one in Eden's room.
Oh, how fun.
And the other day, Mandy just started working, and I didn't know he was in the house, so I let her out of our room, and nobody was home because my mom was watching Owen. She took him to her house, and so I got home for lunch break, and there was just poop and pee everywhere because they'd been fighting the whole time, and I was like, oh my god, dude. I spent like half my lunch break cleaning up poop and pee, and so finally she's like, we could just give them to your cousin because they live on Iris Road, and they've got a big barn. She wants a barn cat and kittens and stuff, so I'm like, fine, get her out of here. So yeah, cats.
It must have been
Imagine if,
such a wild change for those two cats. Like they're not used to. They fight a little bit, then they get separated. But this is like a full. This is like a 5-minute round. Like,
Yeah.
like, when you guys aren't home, they're just fighting over and over again. Holy crap.
Man, if only you would have had like a Ring camera inside your house or something.
Oh my
to
God,
videotape,
bro.
see how crazy of a fight they had.
Can you imagine if after like every bar fight, like both the guys that just got done fighting like go to a separate corner and just start
Then they fight again.
they're eyeballing each other like I'm gonna fuck you up after I get done shitting.
I'm scared now, but just wait.
Once I get this piss out of me.
Time out. I gotta poop. Time out. I'll be back.
You have to poop too. You.
Let's go take shits and let's do this again.
Alright, I'm done peeing, I'm gonna bitch you up now.
Aaron, how's your week been, man?
Oh, dude, so much going on. I'll just narrow it down. We had to get rid of one of my dogs this last week. We actually have been trying to get rid of him for a month or so because he's a boxer pit, we think, and so he's really protective of people, but not so gentle with other dogs. And we've got 4 other dogs, so we have like 5 dogs. 3 of them are dachshunds.
And Jacob.
Okay, so it's 6 pets in all, at this time. So my nephew was over and he was messing with Duke, my dachshund.
He's telling a story, guys. Come on.
Sorry, we're
Dodgeball, I'm trying to tell a story here. But my nephew was messing with my dachshund Duke, and Duke started growling because he was trying to take his toy, and there were a lot of people over, so it was kind of chaotic. And then my boxer mix attacked my dachshund, and we think he's boxer pit, so he did like this lockjaw thing, where he grabbed him around the neck and wouldn't let go, and the dachshund's suffocating, and we're punching the boxer mix over and over again. We're like trying to pull his face off of him, and it seemed like an eternity. It was probably like 30 seconds. We were trying to get this dog away, and the dachshund's shitting all over the place and pissing everywhere. And then I think at one point the boxer was shitting, and so it was just everybody involved got shit on him, and there was blood everywhere. So we just like threw water in his face, and I guess when dogs get water thrown in their face, they think they're suffocating, so he let go. And then I had to seclude him, but he was like my favorite dog, dude. I loved this dog, and then we had to get rid of him. And I've never felt like I was going to be emotionally attached to an animal ever, because I'm just not that kind of guy. And we've had dogs growing up, and we just take them in, and they don't work out. And
They get ran over.
and then,
I remember that dog on AA highway.
my dad
Yeah.
takes them to a better place,
Yeah.
and so they're there for a few months, and they shit everywhere, and then he takes them away. So
He's like takes him out to a farm road. And he's like loading his shotgun. He's like, it's okay. There'll be plenty of dogs up there for you to play with.
all dogs go to heaven, right? So he can be with all his buddies. But I love this dog, and I didn't realize how attached I was until we actually found it a good home. At the Citywide, we just had him out there, and people come by and like, adopt this dog, So somebody picked him up, and I was feeling conflicted because he needed to go because he wasn't gonna work with our other dogs anymore. And then at the same time, I didn't want to let him go. So after we gave him away and I realized he was finally gone, I did the whole like run into my room, throw myself on the bed and cry for a little while, bury my head in the pillow.
Did you scream "I hate you" into a pillow?
Slash my wrists while I'm like, oh, no, baby. No, I cried for a little bit and had to let him go. And every once in a while I think about it, I get a little teary eyed, but he's in a better place. I think, they send us videos sometimes of him playing with this other dog. So that was very emotional and revealed a few things about me I didn't know.
Well, did you think about maybe giving away the other dogs? Because that dog was winning the fight. It's probably the better dog.
I know, right? And he's really obedient, smart, fun. So he's gonna be a good dog for somebody else.
Dude, there was a time when he lived at his old house. They had like a fenced-in front yard area, but the driveway was outside the fence. And then they had chickens that would linger around like the, I guess, west side of the house, outside the fence. And Simon was over there playing with the chickens, and all of a sudden we hear this like blood-curdling scream, and I look over and Simon's like running away from this chicken, and Aaron like runs out of the fence and kicks the chicken, but Rocky, is the dog he got rid of or whatever, was running right at his heels, dude. And as soon as Aaron kicked the chicken, it hit the side of a car. And then his dog was like right on top of it, dude. Just whipping his head back and forth, feathers flying everywhere, dude. Like,
and he does that lockjaw thing, right? So he gets a hold of the chicken and just, I pull him off the chicken and he has a mouthful of feathers. Like he pulled every feather that was in his mouth off of that chicken, dude.
Yeah.
But that was one of my proudest moments with that dog is when he like, I didn't even see him come out of the fence. He just like whipped past my leg and tackled that chicken. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, that's my boy. But,
chicken chaser, we called him.
Chicken chaser.
Chicken chaser. So then you guys know I'm a bus driver, right? For the school district. I had no idea driving a bus and had so much that came with it. Like you have to go through like a serious FBI background check. You've got to go through all these classes and stuff and learn at like kids' behaviors and so it's pretty crazy. And this last week, my bus monitor went to a different bus and I had a different bus monitor and we were going from this school to that school and these kids tell stories like that just like this is not the kind of stuff a normal person would tell another person, you know. I'm learning like some of these kids are transgender and some of these kids are gay and then other kids make fun of them for being gay and some kid just blurts out like, oh, she's messed up because daddy did certain things and we're like, oh my god, like in the middle of driving a bus on the way home after dropping these kids off, I'm just like, how the hell am I supposed to handle this information?
It's crazy.
It is Neo show.
Are they just screaming it, or are they talking to you about it, like screaming it at you?
They're like, hey, Aaron.
They call me Mr. Lindsey.
I don't like the way you said that. They call me Mr. Lindsey.
I make
Call
them.
me.
After I get a little cognac in them.
We call it communion on my bus.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm glad
There's a cracker
summer's
and some
coming up.
cognac.
Kids, do you know the smell of chloroform?
All right, that went dark. Okay, so oh man, I lost my train of thought.
They're saying crazy stuff on the bus.
Yeah, no, these kids, all of them feel like it's their job to break the rules and then tell on each other while the other one's breaking the rules. So break the rules in order to tell me that the other one's breaking the rules. So they go back and forth and they start arguments and then start yelling at each other. And then that's when like stuff pops up and they just like yelling at me like, this is why. And I'm like you're in an argument and a fight about who's breaking what rules. And now you're telling me that this is why they're breaking the rules. And it's like, you know, traumatizing
Weird.
information. Huh. But you know, that's basically been my week, and it's only a 4-day week. And then I don't know if you guys know, there's like a stomach bug going around there for a little bit, and I'm a bus driver, so I've got like 2 hours where I'm locked in a seat and I can't get off to do anything. So I'm like trying to let it all out before I get on the bus, and then like hurry up while I'm on the bus so I can get home and take care of it.
Tell them about the time you pooped yourself on the bus.
Why did I not think that you would bring that up? Okay, so
David, God.
my dumb ass, right? So I like
This is why you wanted Aaron on the podcast. You wanted to serve him up cold.
yes, I shit my pants on the school bus. It was awesome. So that morning I made scrambled eggs, and I was like, oh, dude, it'd be so good to throw Tabasco peppers in there, right? So I chopped up some Tabasco peppers and threw it in my scrambled eggs. Well, everybody knows, I think, that capsaicin stimulates your bowels. You know, once it hits the intestines or the colon, and you're going, whether you want to or not.
I'm pretty sure we have IBS too. It's undiagnosed though.
Thanks for that, David. Thanks for that.
said you and me.
Reveal my dark secrets.
You say we?
So I get that in me, and then, you know, again, my dumbass eats Taco Bell, like a full box meal before I get on the bus. I'm like, this is going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Nothing ever happens when I eat Taco Bell, right?
Did you wash it down with some Prune juice.
I think I had a Dr. Pepper with it. But so I get on the bus, right? And I'm like, okay, no big deal. I get to the school. And then as I pull in to the high school where I pick up shuttle students, and then I go over to the other school, and then I drop off my shuttle, I pick up my kids, and then we take them home. As I get to the first school for my shuttle students, I feel like that wave. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You feel a wave, and it like, ugh.
That's the warning.
Right.
Yep.
You get like 3 warning shots, and if you're not in the bathroom, then it's coming. So I'm like, okay, I felt the wave, and it passed. So I'm like, you know, you want to believe that it was just kind of like a, you know, maybe I got gas or something like that.
You
right?
want to feel that you can overcome this.
Yeah. You know, you
like-
think you have the willpower.
My shit does not control me. I choose when to shit.
Yes. I was hyping myself up.
right?
Yeah, or in Jack's case.
Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, man.
So, you know,
We don't win every battle.
The kids start to trickle onto the bus from the high school, right? And so like my bus is half full. I got time. And then I feel another one, or like I unbuckle my seatbelt, jump out of the seat, and I'm like pacing outside the bus at this point. I'm like, okay, push it back, push it back, push it back. I'm like, okay, got it under control, jump back on the bus. By then, most of the kids are on. And then as we're pulling out, third wave, right? And I'm like sitting up in the seat, like pinching it, right? And I'm like tensing up, and I'm just like staring forward, not talking to anybody at this point. I'm starting to lose depth perception, you know?
Just shit my pants.
So I'm like, okay, just make it to Carver, make it to Carver, make it to Carver, right? So I'm like thinking, I'm like, third wave. I made it through third wave, right? And I'm like, okay, just focus on driving. There's nothing I can do to speed up this bus because I'm in a line of buses, then I get in traffic, you know, there's a few stops on the way. So halfway to Carver, wave 4, you know, you get 3 warnings, right? Wave 4, and I'm like, okay, so I'm lifting up off the seat, and the seatbelt's there, pushing right there. And so I like drop back down, and I'm like, when you sit in that position, you got to shit, right? So like, I'm like up and down, like, oh shit. And then I try to loosen the seatbelt, and it pushes it down harder onto my, so I'm like, oh my God, like, and then it's just like, and I'm like, you know, straight face, like how do you handle something like that? So, and you know, it's never like a full release, right? You think it's pushing this hard, you'd think it would just let it go, right? But it's just like enough to be like, you have no control, right? I got your colon is in control at this moment, right? And so it's just like, at that moment, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit as still as possible so nobody smells it. And then I get a whiff, and I'm like, God dang it, man.
And the first thing you got to do is like, you kids smell poop. Be the first one to acknowledge it.
Turn around. Who shit their pants?
Someone back there is pooping.
Just call out a name. Like, Kyle. Kyle, I know it was you.
Oh God.
But then I get to Carver and turn off the bus and open the door and immediately toss my keys to my bus monitor and say, get a new bus driver. And I just beeline for the bathroom. And I don't think anybody's, like, when I got back on the bus, nobody knew that I shit my pants. Nobody smelled it. And I was walking kind of awkwardly, but I'm like, as I'm walking, I didn't even stop. I'm like asking teachers, like, where's the nearest bathroom? Where's the nearest bathroom? And so I get into the bathroom, lock the door, you know, do what you got to do. It just all comes out all at once, right? And I'm like traumatized at this moment, like, okay, I can handle this. And I turn, and there's a full roll of toilet paper in there, right? And it's not coming out. It's locked in. Like someone put it in wrong, and it's not coming out. So I can't get the toilet paper out. I'm like, okay, that sucks. And I'm like, paper towels, right? I reach over, the paper towel dispenser is broken also. So I get like, you know, the little corner of a paper towel, and that's all I can get. And so I've got no toilet paper, no wipes, and I took everything off when I got in there. So I'm like sitting there with no shirt on,
And you're naked
and my
in
pants
school.
are at my ankles, right? And
In an elementary
some little fucker pissed on the floor, so all my stuff ended up in a puddle of piss. So my
Dirty boys.
He starts rolling it around.
like
Marinate.
Train spotting all of a sudden.
come back out with
More
my
pee.
shit boxers on my head. So it's like one thing after another is more traumatizing, right? So I call my wife, and I'm like, hey babe, there's no other way to say this. I shit my pants. I'm in the bathroom at Carver, and I'm getting like text message after text message from my boss, like, you good? You good? You coming back out? You coming back out? I'm like, no, I told my bus monitor I'm shitting. I'm not coming back out. I'm not coming back out.
This is my life now.
And it was in that fateful moment. So a teacher came knocking on the door, and she's like, hey, the buses are leaving. And I'm like, okay. Okay. And then, Megan goes and she gets me a change of clothes, and I asked her for wipes too, because I needed something. So she gets there. I hear a knocking on the door, and I'm like, who is it? And it was a kid. And I'm like, okay, well, occupied, and then Megan comes up, she knocks, and I'm like, who is it? It's Megan. So she hands me a bag, and I open it up, and it's clothes and nothing to clean myself up with. And, like the blood just drains from my face. I'm like so pissed at my wife for not bringing wipes. And I texted her, and I'm like, the sole purpose of you coming to the bathroom is to bring me wipes to clean myself up, right? And so she's like, oh, I left them in the car. I'm like, okay, good. So I hear another knock at the door, and this time, and I'm standing butt naked in my birthday suit.
Covered in shit.
Head to toe.
Are you actually completely naked, or
literally
are you
completely naked? Literally completely naked.
Oh, man.
I'm like, my socks have piss on them. My pants and my boxers have shit on them. I'm just going naked. So I hear a knock at the door, right? I'm like, it's my wife, Shirley. I open it, and there's a kid walking away. There's a mirror right there. So no matter where I stand in the bathroom, somebody will see me from outside there. So I'm like behind the door, and there's the door crack. You can see through the door crack too. So the kid's walking away, and I'm like, slam it as hard as I fucking can. And again, the blood drains from my face, and I'm like, I almost lost my career, my family, everything. This kid's gonna be like, pee-pee, and I'm fucked.
Yeah,
and so
naked bus driver.
He was lying in wait.
I'm just like covered in shit and piss, like, kill me, Little kid's traumatized as well.
Imagine if that could have been like a skull police officer that was
Oh my
knocking
God.
on the door. Like, oh man.
You laying traps for little kids.
It's the explaining you would have to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just show them your ass.
They never believe it. What's happened? Spread your cheeks.
Help
Look at my boxers. That ain't real shit.
Let me get a whiff.
Smells like Tabasco peppers.
If it was my son, he'd be like, no, look at mine. Put your naked underwear off. God.
Oh my God.
Kid's
So
always got so much poop in his pants.
finally she gets there. I clean myself up. I get changed. I go out to the car, and I was talking to my wife on the phone, right? She had me on speaker in her car, and my sister-in-law was in the car.
Oh my
And
God.
she thought I was joking. Like, I heard her laughing in the background at first, like, oh, that's funny. What a funny joke, but
That Aaron.
kills me every time. No, so it was just, and after I got back to the bus barn, and everybody had already, taken over for me and figured out what was going on. After I got back to the bus barn, the bus drivers, as I walked in, they were sitting in the break room. They all just kind of look at me. He's like, so, what did they call it? He's like, that was kind of a shit show today, huh? And I was like, yeah, it was a little rough. And he's like, well, one of them was a truck driver at one point. And he said, I used to be a national truck driver. So he went all over the country. And he said, I've left a pair of shitty underwear at every state in the union. Or something like that. And he was like, it ain't no big deal. We've all done it. And I'm like, well, good to know. Good to know. And he's like, you're officially a bus driver now.
Yeah. He's like, you're here among friends now.
Shared experience. So yeah, that was an interesting time.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. I use humor to get through the trauma,
And David, how's your week?
How do you follow that, Dan?
Not as fun as all that. It was good. I also beat Elden Ring, and I finally got this computer running. I bought at like a used computer store for like $40, and it didn't have a hard drive, didn't have an operating system. So I asked our network admin if I could have my hard drive that was encrypted with the ransomware that we got hit with a couple months ago. So I nuked it, which is like a bootable disk you can get that basically wipes anything and everything on a hard drive out. And so then I'm gonna like install some Linux stuff on there, and then put some like test server environments and stuff on there. There's like a Linux operating system called Kali that like comes pre-equipped with like 80 hacking tools on it already.
Wow.
So I'm gonna put that in there and then get some like virtual machines up with Windows and put some like probably Windows Server and stuff on there and use the tools to try and like hack into different environments and stuff on this computer. So I had to upgrade the RAM, but
Like you're gonna hack into the Harvard or the Carver page and see Aaron naked. In the
try to get the camera footage. Yeah, so
good idea.
I mowed my lawn for the first time of the season this morning.
This morning. Wow.
It was nice. Well, on lunch break, but yeah.
I'm probably gonna do that this weekend. I'm just waiting for it to get a little longer.
Yeah. It's like right now you got like the onions
Yep.
sprouting really tall, and that's pretty much it. But
Did you get all that yard work done you're talking about? With the gravel and all that?
and
no, we're waiting on the money. We ran out of money because some stuff came up, so we're just waiting for Mandy to start getting paid, and then we'll. But I have got the backyard mostly cleaned up, like with the dogs back there all winter and stuff like that. They just chewed up anything and everything, and it was just all over the yard, like cotton from outdoor furniture, pillows, and like bits and pieces of the kids' toys, and just dude, all
looking
kinds of
like the back of either Sid's yard from Toy Story,
Yes, dude.
or the backyard from the guy in Sandlot.
Yeah, except not dirt, but oh my god, dude. So I went like literally back and forth in zigzag lines, hand picking stuff up, like all the way from the back to the front of my yard. It was horrible,
Wow.
but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Impressive.
Tell us about that time you shit yourself.
I did shit myself once.
Oh, that was such a good story.
I shit myself once.
Yeah,
I love me some brown talk, man.
I too have shit myself.
I've shit myself a plenty of times.
Calm down, Jack. Calm down.
Jack is the poop man.
We
Let me
need
tell
one
you about
story.
it.
One story is it.
Yeah,
I feel better now.
You'd ask me.
Is that what we're gonna do now? We're gonna do poop stories?
no, we're all shit talking.
There was a moment.
Sure not.
About your week, Kyle.
I beat Fire Emblem Sacred Stones last night and started Golden Sun. I'm gonna beat that on Game Boy Advance.
Very nice.
Yes, I've never beat a Fire Emblem game. They're pretty
So
good
good.
tactics games, but they're not as good as like Final Fantasy Tactics games. They're just
Yeah.
they're
It's not the same kind of fighting
Yeah.
style, really.
it's not, but they are tactics.
Yeah.
You are doing pretty much the same thing. But yeah, it was pretty good. The story was all right. When it was a pretty like RPG type story. Towards the end, there was a lot of stuff about we have the heart and together with our hearts we can heart and stuff like that.
The human spirit can overcome
Chaos.
Yeah,
Like the new World of Warcraft expansions.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Where the horde doesn't leave anyone behind.
The Alliance. For the
Same.
Alliance.
Same thing. Yeah.
Sorry.
oh, you're fine. But yeah, it was a pretty boring week. Editing the podcast like always. I'm trying to clip it out. Like a lot of the old episodes, I'm trying to take clips out and just put them on the YouTube page, try to grow the page. We've got a fair amount of listeners, but, I'd like to grow the page and get a lot more listeners.
We actually need to set up the Patreon and all that.
Yeah.
I created an account, but I didn't set up anything else after that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome what you guys are doing, by the way. Every time David talks about it, or every time I listen to an episode, I'm just like, that's my guy. To all 3 of you, 4 of you. Well, I don't really know you that much, or you very well, but these 3.
There was one time that we hung out when I was in high school, and I think you bought us beer. We went to the creek, and that was
No, that didn't happen.
We were 21.
that never happened.
No,
that,
never
that
happened.
doesn't sound right.
I don't think you bought us beer. I think someone else bought it.
It was the homeless guy outside the Come and Go.
But
For
we
a
all
pack of
drank.
cigarettes.
No, I definitely bought beer for myself only and put it in a cooler for myself only. I don't know where you guys got the beer that was exactly the same type as I bought, but I bought myself beer and went to the creek, and you guys were there.
Man, I remember one time I was with a bunch of people and we were trying to get someone to buy us beer. We saw somebody walking into a liquor store and we're like, hey, dude, can you buy us beer? And he instantly was like, what was that? You want me to buy you beer? Yeah. So loud. And then he was like, surely I'm not going to buy you guys beer. And he just went on and on and on, just trying to point it out that we wanted beer. And
Damn.
these underage kids want beer and liquor and smokes. You know,
If only we had Duff's Dial a bottle. Remember that?
Oh my god,
from
stealing
Simpsons.
Harvard.
Stealing our
Oh, okay.
Duff's Dial a bottle. No, I remember we only ever had like one or two people that actually bought us beer that was standing outside of a gas station. Like the other 3 or 4 were like a homeless person and they just took our money. And when they came back out of the gas station, we're like, dude, what the hell, man? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, what are we gonna do? Be like, this guy took our money when we asked him to buy us beer.
We're going to beat the shit out of him.
That's your option right there.
We don't condone violence on this podcast.
We just wanted a candy bar, and he took our money.
Anyways,
Yeah, that's pretty much my week. Before we move on to any other topics, Gilbert Gottfried died 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And what are the odds? We released a podcast last week where Jackson did a impression of Gilbert Gottfried.
yeah.
And I did it out of love, too. I love
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Jackson, you may have been the last person on this whole entire planet to do an impression of Gilbert Gottfried. Do you realize that?
I doubt that, but...
You
Are
never
you
know.
tearing up right now,
You could
Jackson?
be.
Huh?
Are you tearing up right now?
Yeah, it's his allergies. Has been killing
Kicking my ass all
day.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
But, yeah, man, it was, like, pretty shitty to find out that Gilbert Gottfried died, man.
Yes. What are the odds you do
It's
an
been, like,
impression
a
of
really shitty year for comedians that I like, man.
Yeah.
Like, Norm Macdonald going was huge for
Yeah,
me.
Yeah. Bob Saget also died.
I think we're finally probably getting to a
Bob
point
Saget.
now where like people that we know and have grown up with and appreciate are starting to die instead of like actors and singers that our parents knew that were like, well, I don't know that person. But now it's like, you know, Betty White and then the guy from Foo Fighters,
Betty White died.
Kobe, like people that we actually know
Yeah.
we're starting to lose them. Sucks, dude.
Yeah, Betty White died like 12 days away or something like that from hitting 100.
Mm-hmm.
99.
That's terrible. But bro, when Robin Williams died, though, I think that probably hit home for 99% of the world. I think at
Yeah.
that point, dude, Robin Williams, holy crap,
Yeah, man.
he went out like a legend.
It's weird how some celebrity deaths actually affect you, man.
Yeah, weird.
Paul Walker, man, that shit sucked.
Yeah. It's like the only one of the people on the fucking Fast and Furious I actually liked. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That can't be freaking Vin Diesel. I mean, no, I don't mean that, of course. Yes, I do.
And like the way he died, dude.
Yeah,
It's like,
Yeah.
messed up.
I mean, there's no good way to die, really. But I mean, it was intense, to say the least.
Yeah.
What if he died going down a water slide? Would that be a good way to go?
Fuck no, that'd be even worse.
That's when the ragdoll physics really kick in. Because you know the end of a water slide always launches you. So.
Have you guys seen that Action Park, whatever you want to call it, documentary?
Yeah,
Whatever?
I've seen it.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's so damn sweet. Or like it just makes you feel like so nostalgic and shit. Like, man, I wish there was just crazy,
It's like the water
reckless
hole.
stuff these days.
It's
you
like
know?
the water hole
yeah.
in Joplin.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, yeah.
They had like a zip line, right?
I don't know.
They had a couple of sketchy things that would really mess
Yeah.
you up. Like that zip line was so easy to belly flop or like land directly on your back on just the water. So like 9 times out of 10, whenever I would do that zip line, I would like come out like struggling breathing. I'd knock the wind out of me.
It's kind of stuff you crave when you're younger, though.
My brother, whenever he was younger, when we were at the watering hole, he was climbing up that ladder and he slipped and fell and he slammed his chin like right on the concrete ledge and he bit through his lip. And whenever I went, like, because I went to my mom, I was like, hey, can I get some nachos? And I see my brother there. He's got a towel over his face. And he pulls it off. You can see his teeth through his, like,
Oh my
through
god.
his bottom lip. And I was like, dang, dude.
Mom, what's wrong with Tucker?
I thought you were
I was like, man, that's crazy. And then at the same time, like, as I'm like, what happened to Taylor? There's some dude like comes walking over and he's got a waiver. He's like, gonna need you to sign this. So you don't sue us. Sign this. You should have signed this before.
Has anyone seen a hurt boy? Which way to go? Follow the blood.
Yeah, follow the blood. I thought you were gonna say when he like slipped down the ladder and his chin was like ping 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 like on the ladder runs. Like a Looney Tune or something.
Oh my god.
Brings up the waiver. Oh my god, bro! They would.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny. They're like, oh, let's go get the waiver after he's hurt.
Dude,
after he's already hurt.
If somebody tried doing that while my kid was like gushing blood or something, like I would just hit the guy immediately and just be like, "Get out of my face! I'll sign it afterward, dude." Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
But it was.
Bitch, you're gonna need that waiver after I'm done with you.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna sign it.
You're speaking to my lawyer.
Yeah. It was the early 2000s though. Like people,
Right.
Parents understood that their kids were idiots and they were gonna hurt themselves, and like they were like, well, we can't blame it on these guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2022, and I know my son's gonna eat shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't have sued. I just would have hit him because he was trying to get in my face about a waiver while I'm trying to take care of my kid.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have hit him though, because then that would have been assault. But, you
Don't
know,
promote violence.
yeah.
You just get in his face and make him hit you, and then it's
Exactly, yeah.
You know how kids are with a one-track mind. You know, Jackson's like, he's bleeding. Oh my god. Hey mom, can I get these nachos now? Where are my nachos at?
I'm very sure that's exactly how
He's like, yeah, right. The story was
I was
backwards.
like, whoa, what happened? Man, that sucks. About those nachos. You can wait to sign that waiver. Give me the fish in the purse, man. I want the nachos.
Before you take him to the hospital, first of all, sign the waiver. Then, can I get that 20?
Yeah.
It's $3.50 for nachos.
All right, Aaron. So this is Crashing with Friends. So
like
do you
it.
have any crashing stories?
Just the one. You know, I think.
Like shit crashing into your britches?
Well,
I have one question about that though. At any point did you think, all right, I'm gonna stick my hand down my pants, scoop this shit out, and put it out the window?
Oh boy.
no, the thought never crossed my mind. No, I literally thought that my britches would be sagging when I got off the bus. And once I got to the bathroom, I realized it was just like a 1 second, like a barely stained my boxers kind of thing, you know, but it feels like so much more in the
I feel
moment.
like, yeah, it spread. Like, it's probably wet, right?
You know, my jeans weren't even wet.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I thought I stained the seat, you know, and someone actually took over that bus for me, not knowing that I just walked away, you know, after
From poopy
shitting my
seat?
pants. Yeah,
You just got up
Touches
from
the
poopy
seat,
seat?
poop residue.
and he
Smells
didn't.
it a little bit.
Little wet spot on the seat.
Yeah, I got off of that bus so fast there wasn't even time to soak the seat. So it didn't stink, didn't stain their pants. We didn't even have to clean the seat because it didn't even get anywhere on there. So, but
I flew in a little single engine plane like 3 or 4 years ago, and as we were coming back into land, it was just me and this guy in this plane. As we were coming back into land, I was like, "Whoa, dude!" and got like hardcore vertigo, and I felt like I was gonna throw up. And I'm like, "Oh shit, I don't have a bag to throw up in." So my first thought was, okay, I'm gonna tuck my shirt in completely around, make a vacuum seal with my belt and shit, and then I'm gonna throw up into my shirt.
It's a solid plan.
Dude, every time I feel like I'm going to puke somewhere, I'm like, all right, I got a hoodie on, I'll throw up in the hood. Or like, I got a hat on, I'll throw up in the hat. I'll throw up in my beanie.
you just invert your shirt and make a little bowl. And like when you used to go out gathering berries, you know, you got the little pocket in the front.
Yep.
But no, I think you guys were there, and I had come home from college for spring break or summer break or something like that, and I had gotten a ripstick. And
Oh yeah,
the ripstick.
You're all about that ripstick.
We got 2 of them now. My daughter can do it, and my nephew can do it. And so we just, you know, ripstick all over the place now that we live in a neighborhood. And, you know, I was trying to be cool, so I'm bombing this hill out in front of Austin's old house. And everybody's kind of sitting on the sidewalk, hanging out, playing around with their skateboards, right? So these things are like a snowboard on a hill. You got to like go backwards and forwards, you know, side to side to keep it from going too fast. And so I'm going back and forth, and then I'm like, I'm going to gain a little speed, and then I'm going to do it, you know, this way and that way and make it look cool. And so I got too much speed, and when I went in sideways to do like the snowboard thing, I was going so fast and I was going straight for you guys and I didn't have time to invert back to the other way to slow myself down. So I just tipped the board and ate shit on the concrete.
Yeah.
And both my hands came down at the same time and then like landed on my chest. And so like my knees and my hands, and I couldn't feel my hands, like the palms of my hands
I hate that,
for like 5 minutes afterwards. And I was just like sitting there in pain, and everybody's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like trying to be cool, you know, because I'm like 5 years older than everybody there. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good, you know. I'm not crying, you're crying, you know.
Pain doesn't affect me.
Right? Because I'm older.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
cry.
you must have been what, like 26, 25, 26?
I was 23, I believe, at that point.
Oh yeah.
Because that was
okay.
before I moved back. Mm-hmm. So that's my crashing story. There was another one where I like backed up into a carport pole, but that's not really a crash. So
Remember when you hit that deer and it pooped all over the side of your car?
Shit, I totally forgot about hitting a deer. And I had a friend in the car with me.
More poop? Sorry.
Oh yeah, it's a brown night, right? I should have wore the brown pants.
Welcome to Browntown.
Oh yeah, just driving down an old country road in the dark, going 60 miles an hour in a 35. A deer. I like to say it moonwalked across the road because it looked like it was walking backwards. And I had a friend in the seat next to me, and it was my little Escort, my little Ford Escort. So when we hit that deer, it was like hitting a tree. And he was in the passenger seat, and it hit on the front in the passenger seat. And I swerved back and forth trying to miss it, and it just like walked wherever I was going. And I hit it, and it like, yeah, dude,
He was dancing.
It was like walk forward, walk backwards.
Guarding you like a football player. Like,
Felt like it, dude, because I'm like going right, and it goes right. I go left, it goes left, so I go back to the right, and it hit, and I hit its haunches or whatever, like the rump, the backside of the deer, and it just like rolled down the side of the car, and like it shit on the front of the car, and then like it spit, like, you know, it's puked all over the others as it was rolling. It puked, and so it fucking the side of my car looked like fucking shit stained for weeks after that, because I don't think I washed that car once. Like the entire 5 years I owned that car, I never washed it. So there was a stain down the side of it for the rest of the time. And then it popped the power steering reservoir, and it busted the headlight, and like, you know, the case that holds the headlight in, the part that's like $60 as opposed to just changing a $2 light bulb. Mm-hmm. And so I had to go to the junkyard and get a power steering reservoir and, you know, all that stuff. But there's a dent in the side of my car for the rest of the time. And my friend was like traumatized because it hit his side of the car. He's like, dude, we could have died, man. And like, he just went on and on about it.
Like, thankfully, we just got shit on.
This guy was like, you know, the really tall, strong, and by no force or strength of his own. Okay, no, by none of his willpower or effort did he get that strong. It was genetics.
You're talking about Jason?
You talking about Jason?
His brother.
Oh, Denny?
Denny,
Yeah.
Denny was riding with me that day. And so he's just automatically, because of his heritage and his genetics, is tall, strong, brutish guy. And he's like, oh my God, we could have died, you know, like freaking out like a little kid. And I'm like, dude, chill, man. We just hit a deer.
Was he saying garlic the whole time?
garlic?
No.
You remember him and his brother used to say garlic?
Garlic.
Oh,
Oh my God. He always would say, I got a dialect, man. Like,
Yeah.
a dialect?
A dialect.
What are you talking about? Because he didn't have an accent. Because he's from America, you know? He's like, the only accent we have is like Minnesota or something like that. So yeah, he was freaking out about that. So yeah, I got a couple crashing stories, I guess. Not anything really major or notable. No broken bones.
Can you remember any stories of any of us hanging together or anything?
I think the one of my favorite stories was when we all pitched in and bought a hookah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
and we smoked it until we all got like killer headaches.
And then went to Walmart.
Oh, dude. Oh, the time that we raced carts in Walmart.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Oh my God.
I
The
was
handicap carts?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit, dude. That is still one of my favorite memories hanging out with you guys.
Had surgery on my knee, and
Yes,
that's why we were
that's
doing
why you
it.
had a cart.
Yeah.
And then we were all like, can we take carts? And the guys were like, oh, I don't know. We don't care.
Yeah, there was like 16 of them up there plugged in. So we're like,
Right.
screw it, dude.
We just all grabbed carts and we took off down the lane like 1 mile an hour, man. And we're racing, quote unquote, at 1 mile an hour. And I was laughing so hard, I literally peed my pants and fell out of the cart. And like, we could see the managers coming from a mile away, so we all turned down randomly.
we all turned into the clothes section and was like weaving in and out of the clothes racks.
At one point, David's laughing so hard he like crashed into a display or some shit. Oh my god! Thinking about that, man, I always start crying because I'm laughing so hard. I literally was in like a month ago. I was in my truck driving down the road and I started laughing so hard I was crying thinking about that again. It's good times.
Yeah.
Going back to that hookah story though, was that when we had the argument about the blue raspberry?
Oh my god, bro! The moment I realized that I fractured our relationship in a way that could never be repaired, I was like, he's like, dude, we could get all kinds of flavors. I'm like, yeah, man, like watermelon, strawberry. He's like, yeah, blue raspberry. And I'm like, blue raspberry? What the fuck? Like, the color of the tobacco has nothing to do with the color of like the smoke or anything. Like, where does the blue come into play? And I'm just like laughing my ass off because it's the funniest thing in the world to me.
Right.
And then he gets this look on his face like he's just been wounded deeply because I'm laughing hysterically about him suggesting blue raspberry. And I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that, you know, but I could see on his face the damage was done. And, no way to recover that. And from then on, I'm like, every time I look at him, I'm like, oh man, I hurt this kid so deep.
I always thought the argument was that Connor was saying blue raspberry is a completely different flavor than raspberry, and you were saying that the only difference is the color.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter in shisha. And
Right,
Connor
right,
was
right.
like, no, it's a different flavor. And you're like, no, dude, it's just raspberry. It's just blue. Like,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's just raspberry. It's raspberry that's blue. That's all it is. So, yeah.
And it's just, after that, I was like, the defining moment in my relationship with Connor. It was good.
Dude, I remember we all were like, it was our first time smoking hookah or something. At least me, David, and Connor's first time.
Yeah.
And I remember we were all power smoking that hookah, and then we all got super baked like we had just smoked a bunch of pot.
Yeah.
And I remember we were all just like, whoa! We're laughing like crazy,
Yeah.
and then boom, headache.
Oh, yeah. Because it's like so much inhalation, it displaced the oxygen in our lungs or
Right.
something like that. And we,
dude, we were
oxygen deprivation.
There hasn't been a single time in my life I've smoked hookah where I was getting bigger clouds than that night, though, dude. Like, I was getting
We were
huge
doing it
clouds, dude.
fat, dude.
Yeah.
We knew what we were doing.
So you remember we were like making a fat bowl of that shisha stuff, and then we put like 3 or 4 coals on it. And just like super baked that shit.
We were torching it. I remember the first time I blew a cloud so thick that I couldn't see somebody else's face through the cloud, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's the greatest moment of my life.
And I knocked a hookah over at my house. I don't know if anyone was there.
I was there.
Yeah, on the carpet, and it just burned big ass holes. My mom was so pissed, man. Oh boy, because it is such a big burn. Cause those big ass coals or whatever.
Big ass
Like,
coals.
oh man.
We
I
did that.
remember- Oh, go on.
I was gonna say we did that at Austin's house once, and it was on the kitchen table, and it was like a 1.5 feet tall on top of an already like 4 foot tall, bar or whatever.
Yeah.
And it had this big carpet all the way around, and when the coal fell off, it exploded on the carpet, and we were all barefoot. So we're like trying to like figure out, where'd the coal go? And then we're all stepping on coals, and we're trying to figure out how are we gonna pick these coals up. We can't see them, so like somebody had to turn the lights off so we could see where they were, dude. It looked like stars, like
step
in the
on
night
'em all.
sky, man. So we ended up getting like I think the dog water and just threw it on the carpet.
You should have been like, I'm doing this for my Lord, and start stepping on all of it.
Test of manhood right there.
Yep.
I think we ended up ruining that hookah too, because you guys came over one time when I wasn't home and like smoked, and I'm like, don't leave the hoses on the floor, don't do it, and you guys like just left them laying there on the ground, and then the basement flooded.
Oh man,
Ruined. We only had 2 hoses, and I could not find anywhere that would replace that size of hose. It was like a particular size.
I think
It's like that with all hookahs, man.
Yeah.
It's like you can never find replacement hose for those things.
They do it on purpose. They sell a bunch of hoses in the store, but none of them for the one you want.
Right, yeah.
It's weird.
You guys sell hookahs that take the replacements?
No, why would we do that?
Do you remember?
That's a stupid model.
Yeah. These don't fit any hookah, actually.
Dude, I swear
These are
they
display
didn't.
hoses.
There were 2 different sizes at that place that we bought the hookah, and neither of them fit the hookah we bought at that store.
Yeah.
Nor the pipe cleaners. Remember? We bought pipe cleaners too.
Yeah.
And they didn't fit the hookahs at all. Like someone just ordered all this stuff that said hookah on it online or something like that. And it was just like, oh, it's hookah, so it must work together, right? No. None of it.
You remember that night we got these guys and Jacob with the shaving cream? Mm-mm. You don't? It was when you lived on AA?
I remember seeing, like, I had either been the first one to get
You were the
fucked
first
with,
one, yeah.
because I woke up and was pissed for a split second,
And then you
and then I
wanted
realized
in
what
on
you were
it.
doing, and then once you got David, it was on, dude. It was so good.
I remember waking up to you like leaning over me laughing.
laughing my ass off, dude.
This is one of my favorite memories with Aaron. We were at the AA house, and we were staying up late watching some movie about like a kid that was like a clone, and he didn't have a soul, and it turned out he was like a demon or something.
I did not buy you alcohol that night, just to be clear.
No.
I never bought minors alcohol in my entire life.
Me neither.
But like,
Continue.
we finished the movie, and we're like, dude, we're not really tired. Let's go mess with these guys, because they were all sleeping. So we're like, okay, got the shaving cream. You got like, I think maybe a Q-tip and ripped the end of it off or something to like tickle people with. But we get Kyle first. He's like an immediate, like as soon as we start tickling him, boom, he gets himself like first try, no problem. So, yeah, he gets
Okay,
pissed.
now
and then-
it's starting to come to
and
me.
he's like, okay, I want in on this. I was like, yeah, dude.
That's
That was actually good.
That's the trigger right there. Remembering it working so perfectly the first time, like not expecting it to work at all. Yep.
It was magic. And so then we're like, okay, let's get David next. So David's like the weird one, man. We put the shaving cream in his hand, and like you would imagine he would do something with his arms. No, he starts spinning in the bed. Like a freak, dude. Like he gets the shaving cream everywhere, dude. It's on the wall, on the bed, it's everywhere, dude. And then eventually he wakes up. Like, okay, dude, all right. And then Jacob was the last one. He was also kind of weird because we had the shaving cream in one hand, but he kept hitting himself with his other hand. He did it like 5 or 6 times, and then finally got the shaving cream hand, and that woke him up.
Dude. And he would get so pissed about stuff like that, man.
Yeah, he was probably the most angry, I would say, at that.
And he's the only person who could ever make me as angry as he would get. Like anytime he did anything that made me feel like inferior or anything, like, you know, one time we were playing volleyball and then he like spiked the ball and it hit me in the back of the head or something. So I turned around and I kicked at him and he grabbed my foot and threw me on the ground, you know, and I'm like, this motherfucker, you know, and I got up and I'm chasing him. I cannot catch him because at this point, this is like skinny Jacob, you know, he had hit a growth spurt and he didn't have any fat on him at all. And so I couldn't catch him for the life of me. But I was so pissed, man. Anytime he did anything like that, the sibling rivalry just burned at me.
Those little digs get you, you know?
Dude, it's weird.
Especially if your brother flips you, too, after throwing a kick. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Like, I was unsuccessful and he was completely successful. Extra pissed off.
All right, so let's do just a couple, just a review real quick. David wanted us to watch movie 43. I know you two didn't watch it, but I honored our friendship and watched movie 43. So it was actually funny. I was surprised. I was telling Connor earlier, I was like, there was actually some parts where I was like really laughing.
Oh yeah, dude.
That I didn't expect. But the weird thing is, like, I've never seen the movie, but almost every clip I had seen. Like in some, like I don't know if they would just clipped it out and put it in different places, but there was one scene that really got me. Do you know who Liev Schreiber is? He plays Sabretooth in the Wolverine Origins movie.
Yeah.
Him and his wife are homeschooling their
Yes.
kid, but
Yes, dude.
they want their kid to have a normal high school maturity pattern.
My God, dude.
So like they're instantly like he'll be walking to like the bathroom and they'll be like act like they're in the halls of the high school and they'll be like, I don't mean this, but they'd be like, fag.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh man, like you should never call anybody that. But it was,
Dude, and then they like got him naked and duct taped him to the flagpole in the yard, and they put poop on his chest. And he's like, say it, I'll get you down. He's like, I don't want to say it. And he's like, say it. And he's like, fine, I suck dick, I suck it all the time. And then his dad's just like, you have so much poop on you.
and then they're wanting him to experience like having a girlfriend and stuff like that. So the girlfriend was his mom, and like they were like, they had a scene where it was like the girlfriend had come over and the parents were in the living room, so they're like sitting on a bed next to each other, and she's like trying to hit on him, and she's like, you know, I've always kind of had feelings for you and stuff like that, and she starts like kind of like kissing him, and it's just the weirdest thing.
And she's like, do you have a condom?
Oh my god, so weird.
Oh no.
And then like a second later, his dad's in the room, and he's like, hey, I would never like say this to anybody. It's just. But if I was gay, it would be with you. So weird. And then his dad's like, man, that got weird.
Yeah, he's like, don't tell the other guys.
So weird.
I have no frame of reference for this movie, so like the stuff you guys are talking about, I'm just like, yeah, I can't picture it. It's
Dude, I always forget about that
I'm
skit
picturing
until
the
I
whole
watch
thing
it
in my
again.
head. It sounds funny.
Yeah,
So good.
it was funny. And there was a scene with
yeah, it was funny.
there's a scene with Steve. You guys know who Stephen Merchant is?
Yeah.
He's in the original Office. I'm pretty sure he plays Dwight.
He's got like
Maybe.
he's tall, he's got glasses and stuff.
Yeah, but he plays I think Calypso. God, that name keeps coming up in this podcast. But he plays Calypso in the Wolverine movie. God, 2 Wolverine references. But do you know what I'm talking about? The guy that he's all like really white and he can sense like where mutants are. God, okay,
Oh
whatever.
yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I pulled
like
up
that
a
guy.
picture of him.
Yeah, Stephen Merchant. But he's
Oh my God, yeah.
he's in a skit with Halle Berry. They're doing blind dating.
Love that guy.
And they start like pranking or truth or daring each other, and eventually Halle Berry ends up getting these gigantic boobs, and she's like making guacamole with her boobs and this like weird thing, and then eventually they turn Stephen Merchant has to go in and get plastic surgery to look like an Asian dude. It's crazy looking, but the thing with Anna Faris and Chris Pratt,
Yep.
that was crazy.
Yep.
But I've seen that skit before. She wanted him to poop on her, but not shit on her.
Yeah.
Because shitting on people was for like whores and shit like that and prostitutes. But to poop on somebody was like
It's a sign of your
a thing.
affection.
It's all right.
taking the next step with
Oh
your
my God.
couple. Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Dude, this all reminds me of Ball Neck. That oh man, what is his name?
Hugh Jackman. This
Hugh
is the same
Jackman.
movie.
It's the same movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just
it's
saw the
just
clip on
different
YouTube.
skits.
Okay.
And at one point,
I was like,
Hugh
surely
Jackman's
they're-
he's like,
You know.
The connection.
he's like, it got cold in here, and his fucking balls shrivel up and get small.
Oh my god.
Oh man, okay, that's the only review I'm gonna give it. I would probably give it like maybe a 6 or a 7.
Oh my god.
Because there was like maybe 2 skits in there that I really didn't care for.
Yeah.
Probably 2 or 3. There was one with like an animated cat I didn't care for at all.
Yeah.
Bro,
But-
that Ball Neck skit had me almost pissing my pants, man. Every time I think
Dude.
about it, talk about it, I'm just like, he gets soup on his balls and he's like wiping it with his hands and sucking on his fingers, and then he like
Yeah.
pulls a pube out of his mouth.
Yeah.
At one point he's like gets his hands down there underneath, he like pulls the balls up to show a scar on his neck.
Yeah.
And then he sniffs his fingers. He sniffs his fingers, dude. You don't catch it the first time you watch it. The second
Like
time I'm
that,
like, did he just
that couple comes in there with the baby and he's like bouncing the baby on his lap and the balls are hitting the baby's head. Like
They're like getting
Oh my
close to take a
God.
picture with her. And his balls are like right on this chick's face. It's Kate Winslet from Titanic fame.
He's like lifting up the
Nice.
soup bowl and accidentally clocks his nuts with the soup bowl. And he's like, oh, that's in my stomach. Yeah.
I will definitely watch this movie, but
Yeah,
it
there's
still surprises me. Like you said, you were giving it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Man, why is like every single website say that it's like the shittiest movie to ever be made?
exactly. I saw a bunch of those yesterday when I was trying to find a copy.
it is just so dumb and pointless.
It
but
is.
It's so funny.
Well, see,
Like,
the periphery stuff of why this is happening is really stupid.
yeah.
It's about like, it's really badly acted. These 3 kids are trying to prank each other, and the youngest kid is like a hacker or some bull crap, and he's like trying to get some type of device to save save the world, but it ends up destroying the world. It's an awful storyline. It's like a Disney Channel storyline.
Is it kind of like one storyline that goes throughout the whole movie that kind of
Wait,
they're trying to
ties all
find,
together?
huh?
What are you talking about?
They're trying to find this movie 43, and they're trying to find on the internet because they're trying to prank their little brother into finding it because he's a master hacker or some bullcrap. He's trying to find this movie 43 on this dark web. They're like, oh, there's 43 movies in this database. Let's go through each one of them and see if we can find movie 43. And that's how you're getting all these little like skits.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's god awful.
How do they?
Dude,
so that
okay.
part's not in the movie.
So the movie 43 I watched was about a guy who got into a producer's studio through like a contact, and he's like, I got this amazing movie and you need to hear the script for it. And then he reads the Hugh Jackman script, and then the guy cuts him off and he's like, what the hell is this, dude? Why did you bring this movie here? And he's like, dude, it gets better. Just trust me. And then he reads another script.
Really?
And it's another one of the skits. And the guy's like, I'm done listening to this. This is ridiculous. And then he pulls a gun out and he's like, I got nothing left, man. You're going to sit here and listen to the whole script. And then each script is a different section of the movie. And
What?
Maybe there's 2 versions of it.
That is wild.
Interesting.
Maybe there's 43 versions of it.
Because in the one I watched, they eventually are like talking to like these terrorists, and they're blaming this movie 43 on their friend in high school that is just a random person. And then eventually the terrorists get a hold of their friend that's in high school, and they're like about to kill him and shit. And eventually there's like a guy from that show Succession on there. And
Dude,
it's like
no. Oh my God, that's crazy, man.
weird, man.
Are these on, is this movie on a streaming service?
Yeah, I rented it.
It's if you have like the Cinemax thing like add on for Hulu, you can watch it. Which is why I was unable to watch it. I don't have that shit.
It's like $10, I think.
So your version didn't have like Seth MacFarlane in it in the actual like movie,
No,
not the skits.
He was not in it at all.
That's so weird, dude.
Yeah, it was like a bad kids movie, like the periphery stuff of why this is all happening.
I've never seen that version of it.
It was god awful. I'll have to send it to you just so you can see the difference.
I wonder if
Okay.
they remade it because it was so terrible.
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe it's the director's cut.
Yeah.
Oh man, director's
Yeah,
cut.
that's so
hit or
weird.
miss right there, man.
Okay, so now we're gonna go more in depth next week on this show, but the Halo TV series is now in episode 4. But I've watched the first 3 episodes. There was 2 things I wanted to bring up. So in the second episode, there's this chick that is working with the Covenant to try to take everybody down. That was in the trailers. It's not a spoiler. This chick, she eventually is like, okay, I'm going to blend in with the humans or whatever. She is wearing this like futuristic like black clothing. She takes her clothing off and she's looking at her fingers and her skin like she's never seen her skin before. And she's just like looking at it like, oh, it's so beautiful. This skin is so perfect. And she's like looking at her body. Did you guys catch that at all?
I didn't get that far into episode 2.
I'm like, this is so weird, dude. And something I thought was really cool about the show. You know how hunters in the games, whenever you like zoom in on them, you can see that they're fibrous and they're like moving, because hunters are in like every Halo game. But in the TV show, she's that chick that's an infiltrator or whatever. She's talking to a hunter, and like you see one of the worms like come out of its leg, and then like a scene later, there's like 100 or so of those worms attacking people, and it's like, wow, that's so cool that you get to see what makes up the hunters
Yeah.
in a TV show.
I didn't even think about hunters when I thought about watching this show. I can't wait to see a hunter.
Yeah, you get to see a hunter's leg.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sure you get to see a hunter eventually.
I would hope so. But before we move on to the next topic, let's take a break. And we're back. All right, so now I was thinking about something all the time, actually. Do you guys ever have just like a random, like something that you repeat to yourself all the time? Something that's just like, almost like an earwig, but you've been saying it your whole life. Like just...
No. Not my whole life.
Well, I mean, your adult life, or just for a long time saying just something stupid in your head. Like, okay, I'll start it off. So, I play what?
No, go ahead and
What do you want, Jack?
give me your example so I kind of have an understanding.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is
Baseline.
gonna sound so stupid. Okay, I play a lot of video games. I've been playing video games my whole entire life. Okay, since I was like some of my earliest memories were playing video games.
Yeah.
Like my dad walking in with the Sega Genesis was like one of my earliest memories.
That's when life started.
Yes. That's when I started pushing play. But every once in a while I say this and I'm always like, damn it, that's so dumb. Sometimes like if I'm struggling, I'll go, come on, game. Do you guys ever do that?
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Like, and I catch myself, I'm like, I'm not playing a video game. Like, this is real life.
awesome.
And I'm like, why did I just say that? And like, it's not like, it's not like I purposely say it to myself, but I just go, come on, game.
That's
It's
awesome.
like, fuck, no, it's not a game.
It just pops up in your head while you're doing your thing.
Yeah. It's like, God, I play too many video games.
Yeah, like for me, it's usually like some stupid rhyme, like "Hotties on my body feeling naughty," and I'll say that to myself for like an hour. I'm like, dude, I gotta play some music or something. I can't keep saying "Hotties on my body feeling naughty."
I'll get music bits stuck in my head like a lot, but one that I've
yeah.
had in my head forever, like ever since I was a little kid, my dad, he bought like us all like, because like we were all riding the car together, so it was just like, all right, what can we play for the kids? He bought like a Disney CD, and one of them was that song from, I think it was Mary Poppins during like the chimney scene or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like that chimney chim chimney. I get that stuck in my head all the time, and it'll just randomly pop in my head like, I don't know, at least like 300 days out of the year.
Damn.
That's me, but with the Candyman song from Willy Wonka. Like, oh, the Candyman can.
Candyman can.
Yeah. I just see him like smiling, handing out free candy to all these kids after school.
Is that on Willy Wonka?
Or that's Charlie.
Oh, okay,
Charlie and the
okay.
Chocolate Factory.
I thought
Sounding
that was
same-
that's
same
on the
way,
first Willy Wonka too. It's like the opening of the
Sorry,
movie.
yeah, Willy Wonka, not the Johnny Depp
We
one.
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
We get
The
what
real
you're
one?
saying, David.
The real
Yeah.
one, yep.
Yeah.
The only one.
Something I also repeat in my head all the time. Tony Hawk Underground. I think I might have said this on a previous podcast, but Tony Hawk Underground. There's like on the Hawaiian level, you're trying to get these like I think tiki heads, and it goes tick a plick a tick a plick a tick a plick to plick, and I've had that in my brain, and I do it over and over and over and over and over again, and it drives me nuts, dude. I almost think like, are you guys all real? Am I fucking insane? Have I really been here this whole
dude.
time?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
am I a beautiful minding myself? Is that what's going
shit.
on? By the way, A Beautiful Mind is freaking awesome. I just watched that for the first time today.
So good.
Say that in it
Yeah,
with
yeah.
a bigger Boston accent.
A Beautiful Mind. I can't do it. I don't have a Boston
Freaking
accent.
awesome.
Parked the car in Harvard Yard. But anybody else got one?
I kind of on the same page as you, Kyle. That sound when you get a tiki mask in Crash Bandicoot when it's like, whatever.
Oh shit!
Whatever.
Yeah.
I was
That
just
sound?
thinking the
Shit.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Oh my god, dude. And he just plays the drums in the back. It's like,
Yeah.
Or like, what was it in Banjo Kazooie where that sound effect like Ika Boka?
yes.
That banjo.
Oh shit.
Speaking
like-
of, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Speaking of Tony Hawk Underground like stuff, I get Bam Margera's voice stuck in my head all the time of him saying the Equalizer.
Oh my god! Or the guys.
That or Man, I gotta tell you, that run was bullshit.
Yeah.
Not in a good way, though. I gotta get you on element, bottom line.
Oh my god.
Skittles mean skills.
Oh man.
Yeah, thinking of video game stuff, like, Arahio and estamos. That's the thing that pops in my head.
Yeah. Another one is I do this almost every day before I get in the shower. A thought goes through my head, and it's, all right, this is a get in, get out mission.
Oh my god.
And sometimes I'll even throw in like no prisoners, stuff like that. If I'm really thinking about it, but most of the time it's just a reflex. It's a quick get in, get out mission.
Oh my god, dude. Only true gamers know.
Yeah, my showers take like about 5 minutes.
What are you buying? Freaking Resident Evil 4.
Oh my gosh, dude. We used to play F-Zero, the one for I think the 64. Yeah, F-Zero X. And there was a challenge you could do where you go around this loop and you try to knock off every other every other car as fast as possible to beat your time. And anytime you crash in that game, there's like a voice like, "Oh no, you lost your machine," or something like that, right? And it was just like on that track over and over and over and over again. You're crashing and crashing and crashing, and every time you hear that guy say it, it just makes you that much more mad. It's like sandpaper on your brain, every time you hear it. So I've probably like had to put that game down like 20 times because that guy's voice, like, "Oh no, you lost your machine." It's like he's mocking you, It's supposed to be like this alien announcer, and it's just every time you crash, and yeah, that pops through my head every once in a while, and I'm like, God damn it, why?
Every time, like, I'm starting to download a game and these guys ask me on my download times, like, "Hey, is your game downloaded yet?" I immediately just think Jurassic Park 3 when they're parasailing, and he's like, "No, not yet."
Oh my god. The video recorder.
If that is an answer to a question that's asked of me, that is how I always think of it every single time.
Yeah, you do say it a lot. But does anybody else have anything that they think about throughout the day that makes them laugh?
Nothing that makes me laugh, but like there was this thing I was gonna say about like whenever I'm disc golfing, I do have like a mantra that I repeat in my head before I throw for my drive. I'll always like say, like, I'm envisioning the line that I want to put it on, and I'm saying to myself, I'm gonna hit this line. So that's what I think of whenever I throw the disc. And then whenever I'm putting, I focus on one spot on the goal, and then I say to myself, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this. While I'm feeling the wind and like how I need to throw the disc, it's like, hold up, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this. So I think, if you're playing sports, having a mantra or something like that really helps.
Nice.
Otherwise, people will think like, I might miss. No, that's not even in my head. It's I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this.
I don't know what's going on through your mind, Jackson, sometimes when we're playing disc golf, but sometimes I think you're thinking,
it's
don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree.
Sometimes it's that, yeah.
And then you hit the tree. or don't grip block, don't grip block, don't grip block, don't grip block.
A little bit.
No? Okay.
Like sometimes. Like there's definitely like anytime there's like an obstacle in the way, I'm like, okay, try to get it like around the tree like this way. But instead of like me getting around the tree, it's like, you just threw it directly at the tree. Okay. So that plan didn't work.
You're like, if I go to the left of the tree or the right of the tree, I'm going to miss the tree, and you aim for both and go straight down the middle.
I'm never thinking about like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. I'm thinking, all right, do this, do this, do this. But then it's just the execution that's shit.
Yeah. Can't help that.
Fair enough.
Bo, do you have anything else that you repeat in your brain?
Sometimes I think of like a really ridiculous like Australian accent for some reason, like, and then I have to end up saying it. Like,
Oh, we got to hear it.
especially like it's always like the same word or a couple words. I can't remember like a lot of them, but it's always like, okay, so, and like I just like exaggerate that so much. You know what I mean? Like just. And then that just keeps playing in my head and just gets more ridiculous and more ridiculous. And I'm trying to like out ridiculous myself, and it's like, I get straight stuck. Like I don't know what it is.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, lot, like, and just totally goes out like, oh my gosh.
Just like if you didn't know that accent, you wouldn't know what they were saying.
yeah.
I get a British accent in my head every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. and it's always like some smart, distinguished like voice that's like saying like, don't do that, Jackson. It's not proper.
Oh my god.
Proper.
Man,
Jackson, this is what you could have been.
when I was working at this truck wash one time, this Australian dude, or he's from New Zealand or something, drove up, and as soon as he got out of this truck, because there was a girl there that was also washing trucks, whatever, and he said like one of my favorite like words, I guess, and then just like his accent too, it was just so awesome. Because like as soon as he pulled up, he like jumped out. He's like, "Are you washing my truck?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." He's like, "Good, because that fucking Sheila doesn't know fuck all." I was like, yes. Sheila and fuck all in one sentence. I was like,
The defining moment of my life. There's not really a particular thing that repeats itself in my mind daily, other than like when I'm by myself at any point. I'm trying to motivate myself to do the things that I need to do, and then in that moment, knowing that I'm not going to, I start to like think about like if I could relive my life, and I play out so like a million scenarios because I do it almost every day. Like I go back and I'm like, if I could do this better or do this differently, like what would I do in this situation or that situation? Like bring up old memories and try to fix the damage that I might have done, or, you know, like whenever I laughed my ass off about you saying blue raspberry or blue, yeah, was it blue raspberry? Blue raspberry. Okay. It didn't sound right coming out for some reason, but like if I could have just not done that at that moment, you know, I might not have ruined my relationship with Connor.
You didn't ruin your relationship with me, dude.
No, but in my mind, you know,
Okay.
like, you know, for like,
Blue raspberry, man.
ever since that point, I'm like, I ruined it with Connor. Like he hates me now. Like, you know, and I feel like that might be the biggest epidemic in our society today with our generation, is just like psychological issues, you know, because I just recently kind of talked with a psychiatrist that is a retired psychiatrist that happens to be my uncle from California, and we were just like chatting, and I ended up saying a couple of things, and then he was like asking questions, and I'm like, okay, you know, just having a conversation, and then he's like, you know, I think you might have chronic depression. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, I knew this guy was gonna like psychoanalyze me, but he just like that, you know, without me even thinking about it. And I'm like, my life has been defined by this thing that I can't identify, that I just assume everybody deals with. It's normal. But I think I've probably had depression my entire life, and I've just learned how to deal and learned how to cope regularly with it.
Yeah.
See, we're not our fathers, man. We're not like our grandpas and stuff. We're not like, you can't just keep everything in and then explode on your wife and beat the shit out of her. You can't do that shit.
Good
No,
old
not-
days.
Right. Like you can't
Right.
just like.
Not
That's
that,
what that did.
Not
you know?
that any of our fathers did that to our mothers.
My mom and dad are still married.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen my dad hit my mom.
My dad vented by going out regularly and cheating on my mom. So it was like, that was his vent, was, you know, getting what he wanted, but on the side, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like, he couldn't control himself. And so he just like did what he thought he had to do. And then afterwards was like, oh, I'm such a shitbag. And then
Not
do it again.
Ed. Just so we're
No,
clear.
I knew it was
Biological dad. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go through scenarios all the time in my head of, you know, what I considered mistakes, you know? And like some days that's all I would think about. Like at work, it's just like, I'm just on this one thing. It's like, man, what if I would have said this? What if I would have said that?
Yeah.
You know, what if I didn't do this?
It
You know,
eats
it
you
just-
up, man.
You can go through it all day for the rest of your life, and
Yep.
it sucks, man. It really does.
But what did the Lion King teach us? You can't change the past. You just learn from it.
What? You put your behind in the past?
Yeah.
The monkey's his uncle.
Yeah.
Who's got a scar?
I don't remember that part, dude. Until you said it, it was like no recollection of that part. And you're like, the monkey's his uncle. That's awesome.
All right. And now let's move into Jackson's game.
All right. Okay, so I made this dumb little game. I'm calling it the Music News Flash game. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe to you a song, but I'm going to do it in the style of like a news anchor.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you guys like a news story, but you guys got to guess what I'm talking about.
So do we get a point for like the song and the band, or what's how do we get points?
It's just 1 point if you can guess the song.
The song. All right.
Yeah. And
That's fresh in your mind.
I only have like a I've only got like a few of these. Like
When you're
turns out
done, can we rank you 1 to 3? How good the game was?
Oh, okay.
And are we ranking your impressions 1 to 3?
I mean, if you
It's one impression. It's a newscaster.
Okay.
If we have to guess the person he's impressionating.
Impressionating. What's your impression of the impressionation?
already
Go.
Before we
Okay.
do this, David, can we get a little bit of Harry Carey? Just a little bit.
Oh yeah, because
No,
we were talking about the last time we were doing impersonations. Like you did Harry Carey, and I was like, "Son of a bitch, I wanted to do Harry Carey."
So I wanted to get a Harry Carey off before we do this. I want to see who's going to do that best Harry Carey between you and Jackson.
But I can't like improv lines though. Like,
Dude, just throw what
No,
you
just-
threw earlier.
Yeah, throw out those lines.
do I have to?
Yes.
I'll get it started, man.
Yeah, dude's
Okay.
eating a Kit Kat, man.
Hi everybody, Harry Carey here.
Oh shit. This guy.
Son! We all know that the moon ain't made of blue cheese. But if it were made of spare ribs, would you eat it then? It's a simple question, Doctor. Would you eat the moon if it were made of ribs? It's kind of off, but
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't know.
I like the
kinda off.
enthusiasm.
All right. And David?
Oh God.
You take,
gotta
take, a,
get-
take a drink of water real quick.
I got to get into it. God dang it! It's hard.
Just repeat the lines that he did. You said you need lines,
Yeah.
right? Just do them better.
Hi everybody, Harry Carey here. I once took a pair of binoculars and stared at the sun for hours. Curiosity, I guess.
You know what? I think David's got me. I think I can see it.
I've never seen that skit before David did that voice, but him doing that voice had me rolling, man. I was crying.
So good.
So good.
I've been doing Harry Carey for years though, so I got a lot of training.
Jackson, I'm sorry. I got to give it to David.
Yeah, I think David wins.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Jackson,
All
take
right.
it away.
Okay, here's the first one. A youth has appeared in court today after police were informed by his mother that he had shot a man in the head. The police say that the accuser, thought to be from a poor family, was obsessed with unusual dances and 17th century astronomers and was terrified of thunder and lightning.
Kyle.
Hold on. You can give first guess, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
The judge ruled that he would never let the defendant go, and in an unusual move, sentenced him to be stoned while having people spit in his eye. In a statement given after the ruling, the boy blamed the devil for his crime, and admitted that nothing really matters to him. All right, Kyle, you had the first.
Yeah, that's Queen Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, you got it.
Good stuff, David Jackson. That's good stuff.
Okay.
Okay, next one. A 43-year-old Jamaican-American man appeared in court today in an attempt to overturn a divorce ruling, despite his partner submitting photographic evidence of his infidelity. The picture showed the defendant butt naked with the neighbor having intimate relations on the bathroom floor. His ex-wife claims she also witnessed the pair kissing on the sofa before making love on the counter and subsequently in the shower. When pressed, the man said he had forgotten them, giving the woman an extra key to his apartment,
Kyle.
and denied that he had been caught red-handed. All right, Bo, you had the first
So
guess.
is it Shaggy?
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Yes.
Dude, I could not think of the name. I was going to
me
call it
either.
out.
I was
Wasn't me.
literally playing in my head, and I'm like,
Yes.
what the?
Oh, man.
Nice one.
All right. Number Number 3. All right. Today, 14-year-old high school student ran away from school premises after being asked to change from, let me start that over. All right. Today, a 14-year-old high school student ran away from school premises after being asked to change into gym clothes during gym. We spoke to the mother, who went on record stating that when she was born with birthmarks covering most of her arms, legs, torso, and when the classmates saw, she panicked and ran out the doors. This all happening on the day that a 16-year-old Brian Shana returned to school 4 months after a vicious car crash nearly took his life. Brian is happy to be back, but students seem to be enamored with his new hairdo. The student said that it was permanent from the result of the wreck.
Was it bright white?
It was bright white.
Dude, so good.
By Crash Test Dummies?
That's it.
Is it Crash Test Dummies?
Yeah, Crash Test Dummies.
I
That's
had
it.
no idea.
Jackson, bro, this stuff is really
hair.
creative.
And took me a while to do. As you can see, I only have like 5 of these because it was really hard to think of specific songs to do this shit on.
That's some quality shit, man. I just gotta say.
And not only that,
a
but
real
also
shit.
have it be a song that I think you guys are gonna get too. So
She turned from black into bright white.
Oh my god.
Birthmarks all over her body.
Oh my god, bro, so good.
all right, here's the next one.
Once.
Oh, man.
All right. Tragic news today, as we have lost contact with the shuttle for the latest Apollo mission. Aboard alone on the flight was Major Thomas Hardaway, who has made headlines all over the United States in every newspaper for the wacky T-shirts that he would wear. The last contact made with astronaut Hardaway, he was floating near the International Space Station and that all engines have failed. In his last statement, he said, "There's nothing that he can do."
Connor got that one.
Is it called Major Tom? Is that the song?
That is not the name of the song. No.
You got it? I got
Is it called Ground Control?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was going to
Man, I
guess.
can't think of the name either, man.
I know the artist, but
Right.
Is it Rocket Man?
No. That's Elton John.
Yes.
But who is this?
this is David Bowie.
It is David Bowie, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you both technically, you know the song, you just don't know the song title.
Yeah.
I've always called it ground control.
Wait, fuck, man.
This, Space Bad Boy?
Oh, you're so close. You're like one word off.
Spaceman.
It-
Space Boy.
Space peanuts.
it's
Space dust.
space.
Station.
No.
Man. Space man.
Space cowboy.
control.
No.
Space balls.
Space
All
fire.
right. I'm just gonna cut it off. You guys don't get it. It's a Space Oddity.
Space Oddity.
Oh, it's Space Oddity,
Space
dude.
Oddity
I
by
said it. I
David
said
Bowie.
it.
Yeah, you were so close, Connor.
You were so close with Space Bad Boy.
Spaceman.
Space bad boy.
So do I get a point for that?
Huh?
You give me a point for that?
0.5.
Okay.
Why would I give you a point and not Connor a point for saying?
I said David Bowie.
I said Major Tom.
All right, and this is the last one. All right. Police are investigating a deadly series of breaking and enterings in the downtown area. Survivor Annie Letterman said that she'd hide from her attacker by getting underneath the table, but after being unable to, she ran to the bedroom where she was struck down. Police department has stated that they are looking for any leads in the attempt to catch this criminal, but no signs of DNA were left at the crime scene. The one officer has gone on record saying that the criminal was smooth in his operation.
Jeez.
David?
Bo.
Bo said it?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Smooth Criminal?
Yeah, you're correct. I would have also accepted Alien
No,
Ant
you
Farm.
wouldn't have.
To be honest, like, that album that has that song on it, Manthology, that entire album is gold
It's not
except for that song.
It's
Really?
not called Manthology, by the way. It's anthology.
I said anthology.
I know, but you had like a at the end of that, so it sounded like
Yeah, I thought you said
Manthology.
Manthology.
I want to listen to that album.
By the way, your accent went in a couple different directions on that one.
I'm sorry. I should have just done the freaking Australian one. Police are investigating a deadly series of crime. Cunts. Cunts running around everywhere.
Bloody cunts. Dude, this guy put in so much work for these, and you're criticizing his accent. So much work.
Story of my life.
So Bo won, right?
Yeah, Bo won.
Clearly.
That's what he came for.
That's Social Distortion. Story of my life.
Bonus point.
Almost play Guitar Hero.
Good game. I give it a 3 out of 3. If we're
3
going-
out of 3.
Yeah, I
Going
would give it a
3
3.
point
Yeah,
scale.
good
Yeah,
job,
that was
Jack.
good.
I'll try to do more of these if I can think of them.
Next time, do more.
Yeah,
No,
do
that was
this,
awesome.
But like,
Plus Ultra.
That right there is exactly the reason that I only did like 3 questions for Sam a couple weeks ago, is because the thing I did was so difficult to do. I was like, I've been doing this for 2 hours, man. I can't.
It's a lot of writing, man.
Yeah.
For me, it was just doing a lot of searching. Like, I would go through 15 songs before I finally landed on one. Was like, I could do this one.
Yeah.
Right.
dang.
It's really good, man.
I looked at all the Smash Mouth's hits. I looked at all those songs. I was like, man, I don't know how I could turn any of these into a news story. Today, astronauts started walking on the sun. Claiming out that he's an all-star. I don't know.
Okay. So, David and Connor just beat Elden Ring. So, here's the timestamp. We are going to give a 10-minute review of Elden Ring. After 10 minutes over, we'll get on to Yo Dude, check this out.
All right.
Starting now.
Now.
Okay. So, initial thoughts.
I'll leave you to that.
I'm a third of the way through it. Remember that.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I tried to avoid any story spoilery stuff, and I mean, I'm gonna drop boss names, but we don't have to go into too much detail.
That's cool, man. I have like the hardest time remembering location and boss names in that game.
okay.
So
I-
Connor all the time is like, "You do this," and I'm like, "I might have, I might have."
So my initial thoughts, as someone who loves these From Software games and stuff, I think it was the best From Software game made beside Bloodborne. I can't. It just Bloodborne. I think the more I think about it, Bloodborne is probably my favorite game ever made. So I just it's gonna be a hard game to beat.
It's high praise.
I did a lot of research on different builds, and I think I've come to the conclusion that I don't think any single one is super overpowered.
Right.
Like a lot of people
Once
are
you
like,
get to the end of all of them, they're all pretty powerful.
yeah, everyone's like, oh, magic this, magic that, but like I beat 3 bosses that people are in like the top 5 most difficult Elden Ring bosses in the game first try with my like dual bleed build that I had. So
Just depends on your own fighting style, right? Like what
Yeah.
you've built yourself.
It also depends on what the boss is going to decide to do to you that round.
yep, RNG a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
My one issue with the game was just constantly reusing bosses and enemies for certain different things, which is a pretty common theme in From Software anyway, so whatever. But my final score, I think, would be somewhere between 9.5 to 10, but not quite a 10.
I would go 9 for
Yeah.
sure. You know, obviously it's probably the best as far as like playing it, the feel of it, you know, that sort of thing. I would say it's probably the best, but I would agree Bloodborne is still probably better.
Yeah.
My main critique is towards the end of the game, you start running into a lot of like double bosses and stuff like
Yep.
that. I just think that's poor design. Like
Yeah.
you really got to throw another boss in there just to make this a good fight. Like,
Yeah.
come on. And then also the last 2 bosses, you have to fight them back to back, and I think that's terrible
Oh my
game design
god,
in general.
dude.
Because like that Radagon fight, like I beat him like 5 or 6 times and got to the what's it called,
Elden Beast. Yeah.
and like, you know, I would die, you know, whatever at the Elden Beast and be like, okay, I got to go through Radagon again and make sure I still got at least like 2 potions of each kind, you
Yep.
know.
It was-
it's poor design.
I think I had 14 total tiers, and I put 2 on my faith or whatever, my magic, and then 12 on my vitality or vigor, and then I would have like 7 vigor left and 1 magic 1 left when I got into Elden Beast. But it was always a matter of she hit me with 2 things in a row,
Right.
and it would kill me. So it didn't, and her health was huge, and like, yeah, dude, that was an annoying ass ordeal. But I did want to go through some of maybe your favorite bosses or some notable bosses. Jackson, you can chime in since you've beaten some of these guys. But
I wish I could tell you their names.
I guess I'll just go through the big names since we're short on time a little bit. But I remember Godric, the Grafted. The part where he yanks the dragon's head off in the middle of the fight.
That part's really cool.
Like, blew me away.
That's one of my favorite moments in the game so far.
Yeah. Obviously, Star Scourge Radahn is an absolute nightmare. Jackson, you beat that guy, right?
Maybe.
The one out on the field.
I think he's about to. He's about to.
Okay.
fight him.
You'll know what I'm talking. He is either like, wow, I beat him, or like, oh my god, I want to like throw my controller through the TV boss fight. Like, did you ever fight Elmer of the Briar?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
He was a pain, but Rykard was awesome. The big snake guy.
Yeah.
Like, even though it was kind of just a
Gimmick fight.
it was still so sick, dude. Like, in his second phase, you felt like you were like legit fighting him in the depths of hell.
That cut scene where he transitions and you see his face, that is
Yeah.
like my favorite part of the game, probably.
Yeah.
Just so creepy.
Morbid as hell. I did beat. So Dragon Lord Placiduax is optional. Did you fight him, the two-headed dragon? That boss fight was insane, bro. Like, he does kind of the same thing that Star Scourge does, where he, I don't want to spoil anything for Jackson, and then he also has a lightning attack where he winds up, and when he hits the ground, it's like a nuclear missile, dude. Like, almost the entire arena erupts, and there's like a mushroom cloud and like,
wow.
It was insane. Yeah, I beat him first try, by the way, which apparently he's like supposed to be super hard. And then Melania, Blade of Mikola. I know you didn't fight her either, did you? Yeah, that I think is the hardest boss I've ever fought in a Dark Souls game or a From Software game, because she has so many combos that just tie you up, and if you get hit by the first hit, you're done. And she has 2 phases, so you wipe out the first health bar, which already she's one of the hardest bosses ever, and then the second phase is one of the hardest bosses ever. So there's that, and then obviously we already talked about the last fight, but yeah, awesome game. I think it was I was at 85 or 88 hours when I beat it. So
Okay, yeah, I was about 70. Like, when I first started playing it, like, the horse kind of annoyed me, but then when I got over that, I really started to enjoy all the little side dungeons that they have, because they kind of introduced that in Bloodborne with those, like, I forget what they call them, chalice dungeons.
Chalice dungeon, yeah.
It's like they're much more thought out, and you always get a good reward at the end of them. That's the thing. It's like, that's what separates it from like Breath of the Wild, where they're almost like similar because of how open they are and all that kind of stuff. Where I still think Breath of the Wild beats it in certain areas, but the thing that Elden Ring is better at is rewarding the player with some cool magic or some
Sweet ass weapon,
armor, whatever.
Summons.
You always get something really good out of every dungeon.
Weapons that don't break after 10 hits.
Yeah, that's
Right.
another thing too, is even in every Dark Souls game I played up to this point, or any From Software game besides Sekiro, you have to repair weapons or they'll deteriorate. And in Elden Ring, you don't have to, which is awesome.
Right.
It's almost like they took some lessons from Breath of the Wild. It was like, wow, everybody complained about that game in the weapon degradation.
Yeah.
If they would have added a glider to Elden Ring, it probably would be the
Oh
best
my
game
God,
ever. But they don't have
yeah,
a glider,
man.
so.
Yeah, add a glider, get rid of the double boss encounters. Because I don't even care about, like I said, the reused bosses or enemies. It's the doubles, dude.
They're stupid.
I fought those twin gargoyles in the Ainsel River.
Like the Valiant Gargoyles.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was on that fight for like 3 hours, man. Because, like, they weren't even hard on their own at all.
Yeah, the only twin bosses I've come across so far are those what are those dudes that have like the big old giant pumpkin heads?
Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I had to fight 2 of those like boss versions of that guy, and I was like, well, this sucks.
Yeah,
I never did beat it.
Wait till you fight the Godskin duo or the Valiant Gargoyles or the Crucible duo. Ugh.
Yeah. Did you ever fight that like it's like 3 bosses? They're the weird looking knights that have like a blue aura around them.
Well, I never fought. I didn't fight those, but when you get to the Halig Tree where Millennia is, there are just those guys all over the place, and they'll like come after you. Which I just didn't fight them.
2 minutes remain.
Can I throw something in there? I haven't played Elden Ring, but I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos of playthroughs, and I watched David play a few times. And I was playing Breath of the Wild in tandem, and they kind of look similar in a few aspects, but I can tell there's like a skill curve to both of them that's totally different in my opinion. And I think that's what really, really sets them apart, even though they look pretty similar and they have a lot of similar aspects. They're like on 2 different levels as far as like the skill curve goes.
Right.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild definitely touched the skill gap a little when you would fight like Lionels and some of the Guardian encounters you got in.
Yeah.
But all I want to say is awesome game. Probably going to go back for another playthrough sometime, especially if there's going to be DLC. And also, I got the Ronnie ending and did not like it at all.
You didn't like it?
No.
I guess that's supposed to lead into Bloodborne.
Really? That's
Yeah.
like a fan theory? That would make sense.
And then like the one where it's like the frenzied flame where everything burns, that's supposed to lead into what is it?
Dark Souls 3 or maybe 1, I guess.
It's Dark Souls. And then there's another ending where it's like an undead ending and that's supposed to go into Demon Souls from what I heard.
That's pretty sweet. That'd be a cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had just beat it and become the Elden Lord like it was always, but the Ronnie quest line was like super cool and interactive. There's so much to do with it. So I was like, I'm just going to do that. And it was all right, but I was like,
You don't want to be her consort?
not in the way she's talking about. Jackson, you'll get there. Just give it another 50 hours.
Yeah, another 50 hours I'll find out.
All right. Yo, dude, then we're done.
Yep. All right. And let's move into Yo Dude, check this out.
Yo, dude, check this out. My allergies been kicking my ass all fucking day.
Amen, brother.
Take your allergy pills before you go to sleep.
Yo, dude, check this out. Apparently, Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time were being developed at the same time, and they thought that the 64 was more limited, which is why Super Mario 64 had the castle jump into paintings design, and they were doing the same thing for Ocarina of Time. They were going to have like a castle hub where you jump through paintings, and then they realized, wait, the 64 is actually more powerful than we gave it credit for, so they made it open world, but they left the hub castle in the game that became the Forest Temple. That's why Puppet Ganon or whatever jumps in and out of paintings.
Phantom Ganon.
Yeah, Phantom Ganon.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Jumps
crazy.
in and out of paintings, yeah.
It's legit.
They also added Epona like 2 weeks before the game came out or something. Or no, it was like 2 months, but
Oh, so good.
because they were like, it feels like it takes too much time to run across Hyrule. So they added Epona, and then they added the Lon Lon Ranch stuff, and then they added like horse riding mini games and stuff all in the span of like 2 months.
Wow.
Retro games, man, are just gold.
Wow, is
Yeah.
that why it feels so rigid?
Now they're like, we had to change a character's dialogue and we had to delay the game 6 months. Like,
Yeah. Huh. Well, that's pretty interesting. Yo, dude, check this out. So I'm sure you guys have seen tons of pictures throughout your life of like old paintings of like soldiers that had their arm in their jacket. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, from what I read on Reader's Digest, that meant that they were supposed to be distinguished men that were also, what does it say here? They had a calm demeanor and were good for breeding.
Oh, very nice.
Hey, I'm ready. Hot to trot. Come get me.
I gotta get a jacket.
Yeah.
So in other words, like this was a mating call.
Kind of, maybe, yes.
There's one mating call.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm calm and ready to get it on.
Yeah. Until you get some whiskey in me. Then straight to the moon.
Pinky's out on that glass of tea.
Yeah.
Speaking of whiskey, actually, check this out. It says with a whiff, e-nose can sense fine whiskey. Researchers have developed an e-nose that can distinguish different types of whiskey.
An e-nose.
An electric nose.
I know. Like, let me know when it's an app on my phone, and maybe I'll care.
Maybe I'll care.
What am I gonna do? Write to a scientist? Which one of these is
You
good?
just go to the bar and you're like, give me something. Don't tell me what it is. And you use the app and you're like, that's Johnny Walker Red.
Nah, yeah. That's the cheap stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
Fantastic.
4D phones.
Yo, dude, check this out. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but Cam Newton was on a podcast recently, and he's a football player. If you guys don't know Cam Newton, so he says some sexist shit. He complained about women who can't cook and don't know when to be quiet.
Wow.
He's like, now a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic, I'm like, boss bitch, I'm this, I'm that. No, baby, but you can't cook. You don't know how to be quiet.
Oh my god.
how to let a man lead.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if you want to date Cam Newton, know how to cook and clean and stuff. So
And keep your damn mouth shut.
keep your mouth shut.
Damn it, Cam.
Cam Newton's like, I usually don't talk to women unless I fornicate with them. So you should just stop talking. Let's see what you know.
Yeah, it's like that guy's YouTube videos back in the day where he's like, women are stupid and I don't respect them.
Are you talking about Cobra Tate?
I think so, yeah.
John LaJoy? Joe LaJoy, something like that. He sang the
He's like,
show.
that's right. I just have sex
Is he like
with
a
them.
boxer with like a bald head?
No.
Ah, man, the guy I'm talking
Not this
about is a
character.
boxer with a bald head, and like he's just one of those dudes that sits in front of a camera. And he's like, women should clean unprompted.
Oh my god.
It's like when I ask for a coffee, I expect a second cup of coffee to be coming in 20 minutes after I get that first one, and I don't even drink that first one. Like he's such an asshole.
Goddamn toxic masculinity, man.
He is the definition of like I guess toxic masculinity, whatever you want to call it. But God, man, if you just want to sit and laugh at a person, that's something to watch.
That's like that's like a Family Guy skit right there, huh?
I'll skip that shit.
I'm gonna skip that
was
one
on.
now.
It was on Fox News or
Does he have a
No,
pa-
that's
Does he have a
not
Patreon? I will
That's a
support
dude
him.
on YouTube.
okay.
Oh, dude on YouTube. Surprised he hasn't been canceled yet. Or maybe he has.
No, they keep trying to cancel him.
Oh my
He
gosh,
says
that's awesome.
crazy off the wall shit. So,
Right,
but yo, dude, check this out. I'm a sucker for any kind of like mystery and like treasure type show or movie. I'm also a fucker for any kind of Nicolas Cage movie, and
He's a fucker for Nicolas Cage.
and so you can guess how excited I was to find out that they're making National Treasure 3. It is in like pre-production right now, but it's got the green light. It's going to be made.
Yeah.
So yeah, all you Nicolas Cage fans out there, get excited.
And history fans,
I don't think I've actually seen the second National Treasure. I like Nicolas Cage, all right, but once I saw Drive Angry, I was like,
Yeah.
I kind of put National Treasure 2 on the shelf.
Dude, National Treasure 2 is a banger, man.
It is good.
Okay, well, on that recommendation, I'm going to put it on my list.
And to tell you the truth, whenever that movie Drive Angry came out, I thought it was the shit for some reason, man. You did too, didn't you? The reason why I loved
wanted
it
to
is
see
because
so bad, but then I'm like, this is that.
No, Shoot 'em Up was what you were
The
doing.
reason-
Shoot 'em up is awesome.
the reason why I loved it so much is because I was like, man, this movie is so stupid, but it was Nick Cage, and all the action was just over the top.
Like Shoot 'em up. Have you seen Shoot 'em up?
I'm not sure if I have seen Shoot 'em Up or not.
Dude, it is, all the action is ridiculous and over the top. I guess Clive Owen,
Yeah.
he was slated to be the next 007, but then they gave it to the other guy. What is his name? The one who's
Daniel Craig.
Daniel
yeah,
Craig.
Yeah, so they gave it to him instead. So Clive Owen's like, well, I'm going to produce my own movie like 007. And so he made Shoot 'em Up, and it's just like next level action ridiculousness. And it's just crazy. But by the end, you're just like, this is so ridiculous, but I don't know, you can't help but love it. Like a revenge flick or something like that.
You check that out.
Well, looks like I'm watching Shoot 'em Up this week, and gotta give a review next week for it.
Nice. Can I do a yo dude check this out?
Yeah, of course, man.
Oh, okay. Yo dude, check this out. So I recently learned that caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. It inhibits the receptors in your brain that make you feel tired. So you just don't feel tired, and you use whatever energy you have so that you have a caffeine crash afterwards because you've made yourself extra tired, not knowing that you were actually tired the whole time.
That's wild.
Tiredness
Yeah.
just builds until it,
Damn.
the balloon pops.
I know we're running low on time, but I haven't drank caffeine really in like over a year maybe, because I figured out that was one of my main triggers for like 80% of my anxiety issues. So I quit drinking caffeine. And we have coffee, Aaron and I, every Wednesday at Joplin Avenue, and I always get a decaf. And dude, it was caffeinated this week.
Oh yeah?
And I had like a level 10 freak out for like 2 hours afterward. Like I went home for lunch, and Mandy wasn't there, and the kids weren't there, and I was just like pacing around the house like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. What am I doing?
Dang.
And I get in this position in my head where I'm like about to like curl up on the floor and just start panicking, dude. Like it's that bad. So I laid in bed and just panicked for like 30 minutes before I finally fell asleep, which, by the way, I had my first lucid dream.
I thought you were gonna say wet dream.
No, dude.
And it was all worth
years
it.
old and you had your first lucid dream?
Well, like intentionally lucid. Like I was laying there and I had like a sleep wake deal where I'm like, I know I'm in bed. I know I'm sleeping. And then I realized I'm sleeping. And I usually freak myself out at that point, but I was like, what if I just went with it? What if I just rolled with it?
Yeah.
And then I started like picking my limbs up off the bed, and I started like floating. And like I just like floated up out of my bed and was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden I was like awake, and I was like, what the hell just happened? Yeah, it was nuts.
Dude, lucid
I gotta call
dreams are
Kyle.
legit.
Yeah, I gotta call Kyle.
Oh my god.
And then I had some more anxiety for the rest of the night. But yeah, it was horrible, dude. Horrible anxiety. Screw caffeine.
In my most lucid dream, I had sex with a rug, so there's that.
Hey, you were awake for that.
The one from Aladdin.
The one from Aladdin.
It rolled up all nice and tight for me.
Like the end tassels just lightly rubbed your balls for you.
Stuck its fingers down my throat. the tassels.
Oh my god.
Good times.
Is that everybody?
Yeah.
That's it, yep.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for crashing with friends. Aaron, thank you for coming again to be on the podcast. Bo, it's always good to have you.
It's a pleasure,
Yeah.
man.
New season of Halo Infinite multiplayer drops on the 3rd of May, just so everyone knows.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. In case anyone's interested.
New season. Video games and their seasons nowadays.
All right, guys. Well, hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you guys all next week. Bye.
Peace out.
Crashing with Friends.
Podcast.